Muchas gracias. Seguimos con el segundo eje. El tema son los museos, the ambivalent future of European ethnographic museums between critical studies of provenience and the struggle for legitimization. So we will turn to English with Maike Powroznik, our first keynote speaker. She will present her keynote speak also today at 2 o'clock to inaugurate the panel on provenience studies on museums. And Maike is working at the Museum of Anthropology of the University of Zurich. Her main focus lies among anthropology of movement, anthropology of photography, material culture, and practical knowledge. Please.
So, good morning, everybody. Yes, I have come from a university museum in Switzerland, so from the Ethnographic Museum at the University of Zurich. Our museum is something in between much bigger public ethnographic museums and the smaller ethnographic university collections. It's a complete but small museum and at the same time a museum research department, being affiliated to the Department of Anthropology and having its own chair for material culture and practical knowledge. So we do research and teaching, as well as communicating research to the public. There has always been a lot of talking about ethnographic museums. Emmanuel Macron's recent Ouagadougou promise to repatriate African heritage, as well as Sarre and Savoy's 2018 report on the colonial burden in French ethnographic collections have pushed debates around European rights to focus on indigenous heritage. But this attempt, now also published in German, also seems to be moralizing in large parts. Decolonization by restitution, while France still holds several colonies today, also in South America. Where are all the relational ethics rightly demanded in this case? Giving everything back, decolonization complete, is it that simple? The museums know from their practice that it's not that simple, but the restitution debate has made them sharpen their arguments and perspectives. As the ethnographic museums in the German-speaking countries recently did with the Heidelberg Statement. The statement bundles their public content-related and museum-related concerns and holds everyone, including the public, funding institutions, and academia, responsible for the world cultural heritage that is preserved in ethnographic collections. I don't bring with me any answers, but I have some thoughts and projects we are working on in Zurich. On the one hand, as I've already said, research is being carried out in our university museum. There has always been much discussion about the relationship between university and ethnographic museums. The museums always believed that this belonged together. So in addition to only a few other university collections in the German-speaking countries that are integrated into the academic curriculum, Zurich also provides a model of how this might work out. Using an anthropological research approach that investigates socio-technical systems on material and technologies and the knowledge attached to them. Since I was asked to phrase my arguments provocatively here, I'll ask it this way. What does it say about anthropology as a humanities field that it has virtually deleted objects and the material, technical, social, and representative knowledge linked to objects as a field of research? Can anthropologists still have a say when, let's say, master potters or textile specialists from all over the world talk to each other? We, as well as others, of course, have shown by various examples that material technical dimensions have key social relevance. To mention two more examples that will not appear in my keynote, as an exercise, I asked the students to understand Native American and First Nation tribes through a key social technical dimension, for example, Haudenosaunee through the Longhouse, or Diné through water technologies. And in a large exhibition, we tried to understand different societies of the world through their drinking skills, which reach into the most diverse material, technical, social, or representative levels of a society, or even reveal basic social orientations and ontologies. For America, this was done by exploring the drinking skills of cassava beer. On the other hand, Swiss universities and cultural institutions are also heading for decolonizing approaches. The Swiss ethnographic collections are also confronted with highly differentiated contexts of acquisition and collection, including colonial acquisition and collection contexts. One of the main burdens that collections from colonial contexts bear seems to be that in the moment of the colonial encounter, the objects, however received, were translated as evidence of primitiveness of indigenous societies. This translation has consequences for the future of indigenous societies to this day. So the question today is, how do we deal with this guilt? Giving the objects back does not seem to be the only answer. Correcting the translation of primitiveness is a task of anthropology, together with ethnographic museums, in order to appropriately face the substantial part of colonial guilt. In Zurich, we therefore explore the collections as hoards of knowledge and human skills. One thing is clear, everybody is concerned about the future that we want to shape together. We may achieve this only in dialogue. That is, on the one hand, museums must account for how the objects came into the museums, but also by enabling and allowing originator societies to find and phrase their attitudes towards the museum collections. Only then we can see how to proceed further with the collections and with each other. So in order to deal appropriately with the ethnographic collections, funding is needed for collaborative research formats, training of young people, and so on. Or to put it in the words of the Heidelberg Statement, decolonizing requires dialogue, expertise, and support.